So I want to have a quick chat about morning routines, and although I know this video is labeled my morning routine, I'm going to call it my morning theme. This is something I really learned, and you're going to probably take this for granted. You're going to be like, yeah, I know. Control your mornings. Every mentor, every successful person that I've ever talked to, ever been around, or anything that I've installed in my life to help me move forward has been around the idea of controlling my morning. Some will call it like setting your intention, and they'll have a whole different kind of routine. Some have a whole different kind of routine, and that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to understand, control your mornings. If you're waking up at 8 or 9 and you don't know what you're doing for the day, and you're kind of like pulling pine cones out of your hair and kind of waking up and half-assing it through the day, the results are, we're always getting a result. Whatever we're doing, we're sitting on Netflix, we're getting a result. It might not be a good result, but we're getting a result. If we're sitting at the park, eyes closed, listening to the wind, listening to our bars, we're getting a result. If we're doing actual work on the computer, we're getting a result. If you're sleeping in till 9 and fumbling through the day, you're getting a result. Whether you like it or not, you're gonna get a result. There's a byproduct of that action, of that choice. So control your mornings. That doesn't have to mean I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. That's not the only way to do things. I know many successful people who wake up at 8, who don't even have an alarm clock and they let their body sleep, who work until 2 in the morning because they're the most creative at midnight, but the first thing they do when they wake up is they control their mornings, whether that's at 5 a.m. I used to preach that, by the way. You gotta wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful because it worked for me. Then I started meeting other people who don't do it, and it's worked for them as well. So control your mornings. First thing when you wake up, here's what I do, is I hydrate. That could mean a lot of different things. To me, it just simply means a big glass of water. Then I try to move. Nowadays, I just bought a skateboard so I could remember what it feels like to be a teenager, and I go for a rip around the seawall on my skateboard. Back in the day when I was heavy into fitness, that meant a brutal workout. There was a period of my life where that was a run through the park. There was a period of my life where it was just a really quick, simple 2 minutes, push-ups, pull-ups, just get the blood moving and I'm good. There was a period of my life where that was cold showers, get my nervous system, get things stimulated and start feeling alive. It changes. So I don't want to get specific on you have to do this, but hydrating and moving. Move. Get your blood moving. Wake up a little bit. Move a little bit. Try that out. If you're currently doing that, awesome. If you're not doing that, that could be 2 minutes, that could be 30 minutes, that could be an hour, but I challenge you to try to move. After I move, I want to think themes. So I personally, I read and I write and I do some thinking. We could really tie that theme up into intention. What do you want out of the day? I like stimulating my brain after my body and reading a book and writing some thoughts, writing some ideas to get creative so that when I go to set my intention for the day, what's my day gonna look like? What's going to make for a successful day? My brain's already be stimulated. So I personally, I read and I write. I try to do it for an hour. Sometimes it's a little bit less. Sometimes I do it for 2 hours. But I stimulate my brain through something that I'm really interested in, either a personal development book, business book, strategies, big picture, spirituality, whatever it is I'm reading. I read, I write, and then I set my intention. You can do all of this in 2 minutes. You can do it in 30 minutes. Some days my morning routine is literally 5 minutes. Like I can get through all of those in 5 minutes. And some days it's 2 hours, dependent on the day, dependent on how I wake up. But the theme stays consistent. And then finally, it's immediate action, at least for me. Sometimes what I have found is you set your intention, you know what you want of the day, but then you go make breakfast, you make a phone call, you answer some text, you get on social media, and that gap starts widening and you lose the steam from that morning intention and from the morning routine. And then when you start taking action an hour or two later, you've lost that momentum. To me, I do my first 2 hours in the day before I eat, before I do phone calls, before I do text, before I do social media, for the most part, I take action on my one thing. What will make this day a success? What's that one big thing? And in 2 hours, I can usually finish it. And even if the rest of the day goes haywire, even if everything falls apart, I've still had a successful day and all of it is done by 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So it works for me. Take it, use it, twist it, break it apart, remodel it, restructure it, take what works for you. But control your mornings. And that's ultimately what I'm trying to portray here, is control your mornings. The rest of your day depends on how you set up your day, how you set up your morning, whether that's 5 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 12 p.m. if that's your thing and you work till 5 or 6 because you're most creative. There's no right or wrong there. So don't let someone else define your morning, but definitely learn from people who've set a theme for the morning that works for them. That's what works for me. Truly hope that helps. At Lucas Rubix for anything else. And of course, lucasrubix.com for a ton of free programs and courses and downloads. And of course, our signature Coaches University, the Coaches Circle Mastermind, and the one-on-one VIP coaching intensive is reopened. I won't get into details. If you're interested in that, check it out, lucasrubix.com for everything. At Lucas Rubix on Instagram. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.